Being caught with your pants down as a very bodacious older woman has her breasts plopped on your head might be tough to talk your way out of to your new fiancé, but I'm sure Pastry will manage just fine. Welcome back to the VikingGnomeAnime, the anime channel with only the most based, wholesome, and downright legendary takes on the internet. Mostly, anyway. Today we are going over episode 9 of Sweet Reincarnation, and once again, it was a very enjoyable episode. I do love how they keep mixing the genres in this one, and how well they do it overall. So to start off here, we do find out just why exactly Licorice was sent to the fiefdom of Mortland in the last episode. It was not completely clear why she was there, but we do find out very reasonably from the Margrave as he talks to himself or his attendant there that he sent her there not only because he wanted to sort of check Count Retes and her place in the region and with her his future son-in-law by having Licorice accompany him to this tea ceremony, etc., and sort of be there as a deterrent perhaps, or just generally maybe try to not let her have her way as easily, as well as also sending her there to keep her far from harm's way as the combating house that has had wars and conflict with the Margrave Huberek house might be incentivized to re-engage conflicts after the announcement of the engagement to the ducal house of Hubelek, whatever it's called, again, up in the further to the capital. Again, they do explain things usually quite reasonably and logically. It's like, okay, yeah, I totally get why he would do this then, that makes sense. Many anime just forgo explaining things like this, leaving it much of a mystery and perhaps difficult to understand, and just you just have to fill in the blanks yourself. But again, it's very nice when anime actually do explain why they do things, why characters do things and their motivations. So much of the episode is just him going to this tea ceremony and all the scheming that goes on there. We do see, though, before that, a decent portion of Pastry really enjoying and making sweets, and while, personally, the sweet section of the anime specifically is the weakest to me, and the section which I least enjoy overall, I must admit, I did enjoy largely seeing him get excited and explain these sweets, and seeing Licorice and such, especially seeing him and explaining and saying to the audience like how happy he looks and all the joy he gets out of this. So I thought that was a fairly well done scene and section there, where I could even enjoy the sweet making in itself. At this point, we do get to the tea ceremony. Of course, he brings Licorice, and he makes these sweets for the ceremony, specifically to hand them out to the participants, so they basically get addicted, get him a free hit, and they'll come back for more, using the standard drug strategy. I'm sure it works well with sweets of this caliber as well in this barren world, sweet-wise anyway. Everyone seems to love the sweets, and then he starts to try to negotiate tax exemptions for at least these sweets, and I suppose potentially other sweets as well that these merchants carry, because I suppose he wants to sell them, right? And without taxation, as they apparently are taxed quite highly, sugary goods that is, he will make a lot of profit. So that's a fairly nice plan to try to go about that. Then, the Count Retes brings him in for a one-on-one audience, as, she doesn't like business being conducted without her present, of course. And they do some, discussions, and we do the general, again, sort of the geopolitics, power plays, and scheming and ploying between each other, trying to outsmart each other and position each other in the best way possible to get the most benefit while giving the least. The standard, right? Negotiations. And again, I do think this is the most strong suit of the anime outside the nation building aspect. It's these interactions and really feeling like each party are competent and smart in their own way to do the things they do to accomplish their future goals. Pastry wants to secure Count Retes' aid with her merchant connections to be able to sell these sweets far and wide, in the south at least, and potentially other regions, while Count Retes is like, okay, I will help you in this, also because I want to sort of capture your future and, let's say, leech off your potential and benefit from your upcoming and what you can do in the future. Stuff like that, right? Mutually beneficial to an extent anyway, and each trying to get the most benefit out of their side of the negotiation. So we do also get Pastry saying that, okay, he is planning to mass produce these hard candies as the selling candy or sweet in this episode, within 3 years. So, we already saw him planting the honey trees, and we will see him eventually as well, I guess, getting sugarcane, whatever, to grow that soon enough. So with him planning to grow those things, I don't know why he's not just going to start growing bankas. Yeah, I guess he might, but earlier in the episode when he makes candied apples, separately, he says that he had to forego his allowance to buy these bankas in the capital to make these candied apples. Why wouldn't you just buy saplings of bankas to put them in the dirt and grow them like he did with the honey trees, and then I assume with the similar sugarcane-esque plant in the future? I mean, that seems reasonable enough, right? I mean, I'm sure they can grow in the environment. If not, pastry will adapt the environment to make them growable. But I suppose that he might do that eventually, but for now he's just spending money to buy them individually because he wants to make certain sweets for some reason. Though he didn't use the bankas or the candied bankas in this tea ceremony, so I'm not sure exactly why he would spend money on that then at this point in time, outside of his own gratification and enjoyment. And again, my highlight in this episode is again just, even with him, let's say, being very on the sweet wagon in this episode, and having a lot of focus on making sweets and enjoying sweets, and some even sound like Food Wars-esque commentary on the sweets, you still connect all of that with, the nation building, the future planning, the geopolitics, the power plays, the ploys, the scheming, the negotiations, and just connecting all of this together in a fairly cohesive narrative and complete package, let's say, that I quite enjoy. At the end of the episode, though, Counteractus does play a dirty game, basically putting herself right behind Pastry, hugging him with her bodacious breasts, resting on his head, practically, and Licorice, of course, coming to see this, and Counteractus having a very evil look in her eyes, as I'm sure she will be quite happy to shatter the engagement, or do anything she can to sabotage the engagement to the house of Hubelek, or Huberek, as she does not like that at all, especially as it was done without her consultation, and she wants to capture Pastry and his potential for herself. And it does end on a cliffhanger, but I am sure Pastry will be able to negotiate his way out of this predicament without issue. He does have a sweet tongue after all. That being said, overall, good episode. I enjoyed it. Looking forward to the next one, which I will be watching and reviewing in half an hour. So see you there. Did you like the episode though? If so, feel free to leave your comments down below if and why you liked it or didn't like it. And please do like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff to support this new channel. I deeply appreciate that. With all that being said, I will see you in the next anime video. So have a good day and bye-bye.